Hey, Young Riz. Happy Sunday. Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel. Georgia Gary Area Wellness and more. I got me a little herbal tea here today. Hey, Young Riz. How are you doing? How your day going? How your afternoon going? This is some herbal tea. Hope everybody's day have went well. I had put that little break in there. But I'm your host, Georgia Girl. Today, I want to share some more about Black History Month. Today, I'll be talking about Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King. I'll be sharing about his life, his accomplishment, and what he paved the way for us. His weather done changed again. Now it's cool out there. They said we're going to get back cold. So other than that, I'm doing okay. I thank God for his grace and mercy for a new day. It's the beginning of a new week. We got some challenges coming up. Snack of the day. It's whatever snack of your choice. Then Miss Key hosts that challenge. Then I also have my own wellness challenge journey going on. So, but anyway, Young Riz, how you been doing? Good to see you. Hope everything been going well for you. Uh, a lot of us know about Martin Luther King from school, from the history books and things like that. Hearing our parents talking about Martin Luther King Jr., about some of the things that he accomplished and some of the things that he paved the ways for others. I want to share with y'all about my dad. My dad shared with me a couple of days ago that he was part of the march that was in Selma, Alabama. And so my dad is part of history because he said he was down there when they was down there wetting people up and throwing rocks and fighting them. But he was a young boy. He was a teenager when he was with the march. So he said he was marching in the back. But all the people that was in the front, of the march. They was the one got water on. They got beat up, and but they marched, even though they stopped them on the first march. But I think they marched at least about 3 times. They was marching for our rights to vote. So I have to give it up to my dad that he was out there. And I'm like, dog, Dad, you are part of history. He is part of history. He's part of our Black history because he was out there marching while Dr. Martin Luther King was out there. He said he didn't get a chance to meet Dr. Martin Luther King, but he was out there when they hold that march, walking across that bridge. A lot of people got injured. It was a whole big mess going on back then. Martin Luther King, John Lewis. I know y'all know who John Lewis is. He was the congressman that helped march in Selma also. But today I just want to read and share some things about Martin Luther King, which some of us probably already know. But it's good to know your history. That great and melt in there. Yeah. What? What? Hey y'all. Hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Let me clear my glasses. But yes, I'll be talking about Martin Luther King today. If you've been following me, you know that I do share things about Black History Month. Brain a little bit. I put them greens in that put them greens in that refrigerator. Hell. But today I want to share about Martin Luther King Jr. and what he stood for and some of the things that he had accomplished. Let me put something in the background back here. We owe our ancestors and all the leaders. We should honor them, and we should. This is my dinner for today. I was able to cook my pinto beans. I got some pinto beans, turkey wings, and I got some tomatoes, and I got some onions on the side over there. That's what I had for dinner today. Let me put a string back here. Try to get into my topic. Still here. Trying to get a kind of good background back there. Hold on. See if that one show up. Okay. But that's what I'll be talking about today. Moments in Black history. So I'll be sharing some information about Martin Luther King. A lot of people, we all done read about it. We done been taught in school about it. Black history is a time where you just go back and reflect on some of the things that people that did for us. Like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and different ones that did a lot for us for Black history. Okay, hold on, I'm still here. Hey, Riz, how are you doing? You see, you're a member. You got gifted. Yeah, Malcolm X. You got gifted. You was gifted a membership this month. Your name got pulled. Well, the guy named Brian is the one that gifted you. Brian C., one of my members. How you been doing? How you been doing? Yeah, Malcolm X. He was one that we should. Uh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. We should talk about Martin Luther King. He did a lot for us. He paved the way for us and for a lot of people in the world. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. You said Malcolm X inspired your people to fight for themselves in the 50s and 60s. Okay. See, Martin Luther King, he didn't believe in violence. Hey, Frank. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Okay. What you had for dinner? I got my pinto bean. I had pinto beans, turkey wings, and some tomatoes. I haven't eaten it yet. That's why I'm not going to be on too long. I just want to share about Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, like I said, we have heard about him in the history books. Our teachers talked about it during school. Our grandparents, like my dad was talking to me about, he was in that march. He marched with them when they went across the Zelma Bridge. And he said it was bad. It was terrible. A lot of people had got watered down with water. People was getting beat up. Hello, God bless you. An American History Week for the Black people. I'm a white guy, 52 years old, and I love the Jefferson. Isabella Sanford was an excellent actress. Okay, she sure was. Oh, you got pork chop, mashed potatoes, and peas in a salad. That sounds good. Well, I got pinto beans, turkey wings, and got some little onions on it. You like Malcolm X? You said Malcolm X inspired British-born Pakistanis and others of the South Asian communities in Britain during the 1960s by providing a model of fearless resistance against racism, advocating for self-defense. Okay. Frank said he did a report on Martin Luther King when you was younger. That was good. But we all know that he was born January 15, 1929. April the 4th is when he got assassinated. April the 4th, 1968. He was a Baptist minister. He was a leader in the American civil rights movement, advancing racial equality through nonviolent activism. He was about nonviolent, even though they was being violent toward him on what he was trying to do, but he wanted things to be peaceful. And you could have a peaceful, okay, that's awesome. So you don't know too much about Martin Luther King? You don't know too much about Martin Luther King? Let me tell y'all, hey, before I get into reading, y'all know I like to read. Hey, y'all. Y'all doing all right? Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. Yep, good to see everybody. Good to see you, young Riz. You know, like I said, you was one of the ones that got gifted a membership over here. Every now and then, someone get lucky enough to get a free membership when someone else purchased one. So, Brian was the one that got you the free membership. Yeah, I like Malcolm X. I like all of the ones that did a lot, you know, for us during the 1950s and 60s. Like I said, my mom used to talk about him. My dad was talking about him the other day. He was talking about Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King. Um, he was a Baptist preacher. He was a leader. No, he tried, like I said, he was trying to lead civil, non-violent riot, but you know, but they was, it was violent back then. It was terrible. Back then it was black and white, and y'all know how it was back in that day. And he was trying to, they was fighting for the voting rights and different stuff like that, equal pay, and so that's him right there. He's part of our history, and I'm glad that he, some of the things that he did accomplish, we can sit back and know today. If it weren't for Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, a lot of the others leaders that was out there marching, and like Reverend Jesse Jackson, of course, a lot of those leaders that no longer with us is some of the reason we got some of the things we have today. Some people didn't know about the voting right. Some people still don't vote. But vote. That's what Martin Luther King now marched for. That's what they walked across that bridge for. So make your vote count. When it's time for you to vote, if you're able to vote, vote. So I'm just going to get into a little reading about Dr. Martin Luther King. They say he was born right here. That's his early life education. I say he was born January 15th. They always celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King. His birthday is a national holiday. He was born in Atlanta. His real name was Michael. I didn't know his real name. Martin Luther King real name was Michael King Jr. He was born January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. His father later changed both of their names to Martin Luther in honor of the Protestant reformer. So Dr. Martin Luther King born name was Michael, but they changed it. His father changed it, named him after a Protestant reformer. He was a gifted student. He skipped 2 grades and entered Morehouse College. Okay. At age 15, he earned a bachelor degree of divinity from Cruiser Theological Seminary and a PhD in theology from Boston University in 1955. He was real smart. He was a gifted student. He was a gifted student. He got a bachelor degree at 15. Wow. That's awesome. You could tell he was real smart, real outspoken. And when he would speak and when he would tell his speeches, it's just like he was telling a story, like he was talking about a journey or something that he wanted the people to know. And I would get into that his last speech. I'm gonna read it. And like I say, I lost my mom over 2 months ago. And some people know when it's their time. Some people say they know when that final day is about to come. And from reading what I've been reading in the last speech that Dr. Martin Luther King said or spoke on, it's just like he knew that something wasn't going to be right. Like he felt it, all the things that he tried to accomplish and some of the things that he did accomplish, he saw how the world was back then. He was trying his best to do whatever he can to help change things, but he knew that there was a lot of violence out there. He knew, in other words, I'm not saying he saw his death, but he knew something just wasn't right. But do y'all believe that people see their death? I don't know if it's in my chat. But do y'all believe that people see that death before time? Because some people say that they believe that some people do see their death. They we done already seen it. So in 1963, he married Coretta Scott. They had 4 children: Yolanda, Martin III, Dexter, and Bernice. Okay. But I didn't know he hadn't changed. His father changed their name. That's something new to me. I didn't know that. So I'm just reading some, read some of his accomplishment and things like that. Hey, Brian. Yeah, that was a beautiful speech. It was a beautiful speech. Um, have you seen the words? Do you actually listen to the words of the do you actually listen to the words of the speech? It's just like, do you think he saw his death, Brian? Do you think Dr. Martin Luther King saw his death, or he felt like something just wasn't right? And he was trying to send a message out there. He was sending a message out there. In his last speech, he was sending a message out there. But Young Riz, Brian is the one that gifted you a membership. Young Riz was in her early. I'll come on and speak to y'all if y'all haven't seen me. Hey, y'all. Hey, Brian. Good to see you. You doing okay? I just got on my Black History attire. Just going with the theme. Going with the theme. But good to see you, Brian. But do y'all think that Martin Luther King saw this? He seemed very tired. Yeah. Okay, yes, I seen the video of his last speech and he seemed very tired. He had been trying to, get a lot of things changed, and he had a lot of enemies out there. He had a lot of people that didn't believe in what he believed in. But hatred, it was a lot of hatred going on. A lot of hatred going on. And that's what's to me, when I read, they said that was the motive of the guy what killed him. But then I read some where they said that his family didn't believe the man that killed him. They didn't believe it was him. They saying it had something to do with the police officers, and it's a lot more. But they did sentence this man to life, but he ended up dying in prison. But they said it was hatred, racism. It was a lot of that was the reason he got assassinated. But his family believed that it was more people involved. You know, I mean, and y'all know today that people try to silence people, but everybody have the freedom of speech. I don't want to get to talking about your boy, Brian. We all know that he feel like Donald Trump feel like people don't have the right to freedom of speech. You don't think he did it? I was reading where some of his family members don't believe. Some of his family members don't believe that he did it either. They think he's like he was a scapegoat. He was covering for someone. But I'm just saying they was trying to silence him. And people have a right to speak and say what's on their mind. And that's that. I don't pick on Donald Trump, but You know this too now, Brian. Now he don't like people to speak what on their mind, but he feel like he can speak what on his mind. Do you think that right though? Do you think that people do have the right for their freedom of speech? And a lot of people that like what Dr. Martin Luther King stood for, they didn't like what he tried to accomplish, and some of the things that he did accomplish, people didn't like it. Okay. I feel like this my chat, right? If somebody come in and say something bad about Martin Luther King, I mean, I'm gonna respect and see what they say, but I'm not gonna let them disrespect me. And because I'm talking about him, I give people chances to speak on what they want to speak on, and but it's a way of doing everything. It's all about respect for me. You can you can have your different opinions about different things. You might not agree with some of the things I might not say, or I might not agree with some of the things you say. We all are entitled to our opinions and freedom of speech. So I was just going through some things about Dr. Martin Luther King. We know he was assassinated at the Lorraine Motel April the 4th, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. And we know that Reverend Jesse Jackson was there. He witnessed it. A lot of other people had witnessed it too. But what else? I'm just reading. I'm finna show y'all some pictures. Uh, this is for educational purposes only. I talk about current events like like this right here, Black History Month, Women's Day, Women National Day. I do a lot of share a lot of awareness over here. I'm sharing my real life wellness journey. I do a lot of things with other YouTube creators when it comes down to our health. But my channel is not here to tell nobody how to think, change nobody's opinion about what they feel, because I believe in freedom of speech. If you come in and say you can't stand Dr. Martin Luther King, you have that right. Hey, y'all, you have that right to feel the way you feel. I'm not here to change nobody's mind, but you will have to explain to me why. But this right here is the day. This is a day in history, the assassination of Reverend Martin Luther King. Lord. I said, they wait right until I want to go live to want to call. I can't find my other phone. It's somewhere. Yana, your granddaughter. So right here, I think I showed this the other day when I was talking about Reverend Jesse Jackson. But this right here is where they was standing on the balcony. I don't know if that the same day it happened, but this is when they was standing on the balcony. Reverend Jesse Jackson, Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't know who the other two guys are. And this is at the Lorraine Motel. So Brian, you say you don't think that the guy that went to prison, you don't think he the one did it? If you see him in the chat, Brian, who do you think killed him then? They said it was a lot of conspiracy going on. His family, his family is saying they don't think the man named Billy Ray did it. They don't think he did it. They think it was something to do with the police. So right here, guess this is when they had shot him, and this when he was laying on the balcony. Wow. Regulars at Martin Luther King Jr. assassination recalled by a taxi driver witness. Okay. Let's see right here what this picture show right here. Okay, this right here. Let's see what they say this is. That's when they was still on the balcony right there. So these just some pictures about the assassination. I was trying to read and see what it was saying. Hold on. But I didn't think that he deserved to get killed. Don't nobody deserve for their life to be taken from them because of the fact that a lot of people don't want people to have their freedom of speech. What they saying right here, one bullet killed the man, but couldn't kill the dream. And this is an article, April 2024. Okay, how you doing? What is that? Is it something sharing about him? They said one bullet killed the man, but couldn't kill the dream. So this was April 24th. This when this article went out. I'm just reading, just going through some things about it. So we know that he was killed on April the 4th. I'm just reading some things. Oh, this was his godfather. This is Congressman Jonathan Jackson. And he said Martin Luther King Jr. was his godfather. I'm just going to read some of his article. He said one bullet killed the man, but couldn't kill the dream. And when this article came out, it was the 56th anniversary of the assassination of my godfather, Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King, who was shot to death April the 4th, 1968, as he stood on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Tennessee. Moments before the fatal shot rang out, 6:01 p.m. on that tragic day, April 4th, 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. had been laughing and joking with my father, the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Oh, Jonathan, this must be Jesse Jackson's son. The Reverend with my father, Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr., and his other friends and colleagues as they prepared dinner for Reverend Billy Kyle's home. My father said every time he goes to Memphis, it's like putting the pulling the scab off the wound. The sore is still raw. Wow. And I'm sure, rest in peace, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm sure that probably something he never did forget because he witnessed it. That probably stayed with him for years, you know. So I'm just reading this article from Jonathan Jackson, Congressman Jonathan Jackson. He wrote this article April the 4th, 2024. He said Martin Luther King was his godfather. So my father was the youngest member of Reverend King's executive staff in 1960. And is one of the last living witnesses to King assassination. Wow. Now, that was in 24, but he gone now. May he rest in peace. The Nobel Prize reception was just 39 years old when he was killed. Reverend King has now been dead longer than he lived. His murder traumatized the country and the world, but it's also lit a fire under my father and peace-seeking clergy activists and God-fearing people around the world. See what happened to Martin Luther King? It made people want to fight even harder. It made people want to go even harder about what the purpose and what they was fighting for. You know? So I'm going to put this picture back up and I'm just going to read it out like that. If you're peeping in the chat, I'm talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. Right now I'm speaking on the assassination, where it happened at, and hey Sasa, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. I'm just sharing some things about Dr. Martin Luther King. I was sharing about the assassination, and like they say the man went to prison for killing him. They don't believe he was the one did it. They think it was some more people to it. So, how your day been going? I've been doing okay. I've been sore the weekend, but I know next week should be a little bit better when I start. I don't do them on the weekend. I start rest on the weekend. So during the week, but I will do them some on the weekend. But next week I'll start by doing my cardio. And when it warm up some, I'm gonna try to make a few steps outside, try to get this knee and get this strength back up. Yeah. But today is cold. How you been? You walked today? How your weather was today? And I was just talking about Martin Luther King Jr. His name was Michael. His real name was Michael before. Hey y'all. His name was Michael before his dad changed their name. His dad changed their name. He was born Michael King Jr., but his dad changed their named him after a person that they knew from that was doing like some of the things that they were fighting for. Yep. But I'm doing okay. I'm maintaining. Yep. Just doing a little commentary, just trying to finish up this little Black History Month. Because I have been sharing different stuff about Black History Month. And I want to speak on Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King, about some of the things that he did and some of the things that he accomplished and some of the things that people are still fighting for today. So we should honor our leaders like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, Reverend Jesse Jackson, all those people that was out there, John Lewis, all those people that was out there marching during those times for us. Like the ones that marched across that bridge. My dad was one of the ones, but she said he was way back there in the back. He was a young boy. I think he was about 15 or 16 years old. And he did march. He was there. He said he wasn't up there in the front when they was doing all the water. They watered down a lot of people. They fought a lot of people, but he wasn't up there in the front. He was way back there because it was a lot of people marching that day. But like I told my dad, I said, you part of Black history. You was out there marching and going on. So salute to my dad for being out there, putting that foot. Shout out to my dad for getting out there, making his voice heard. You see, that's what it is. A lot of people feel like you don't have the freedom of speech to say what you want to say. And everybody have the right to freedom of speech. If it's something in your hometown or there's something going on where you need to voice your opinions or vote, do it. That's what they got the council meeting for. Um that's what Dr. Martin Luther King now marched for. The right to vote. Sometimes if we grumble about things that we should won't change, but if you don't try to make that change, ain't nothing gonna happen. If you know something is not right, and if you have opportunity to vote for a change, why not use your right to vote? Because that's what they stumped them yards for. That's what they walked those roads and crossed those bridges for. So we have to be thankful that we had people back there that was able to walk across those bridges. So I was just reading some different stuff about Martin Luther King, and it's sad that his life was taken because to me, they didn't want to hear what he had to say. In other words, they was trying to shut him up. And see, and we know that people do that now today. They get so mad with people on social media. You know how people do on social media. Sometimes they see something that a person posts, and they all the time assume it's about them. But people can post whatever they want to post. It don't mean they got to be about you. Because people are entitled to their freedom of speech, right? But you know how some people do now. They will throw out those little subliminals and shades, and you'll know it's somebody trying to throw something at you for you to get it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it just be a back and forth thing. But y'all know how it is. Social media. Y'all know how social media is. But yeah, like I said, I was just sharing some things about Dr. Martin Luther King. I thank him for what he did and some of the things that he accomplished. And I know without him and some of the others, we wouldn't be able to vote. We wouldn't be able to do some of the things that we got going on. I'm trying to put a picture back up there. But other than that, I'm doing okay. Like I said, it turned out to be cold today. And they said it was gonna be they said the temperature was gonna change. They saying it was gonna be cold the next few days. Now this type of weather here, it just make you catch a cold. I try to put another picture up here. I had one. Let's see. This is when they was marching in this when they was marching in Zelma right here. It was black and white people out there. So when they was marching in Zelma, it was some white people with them. It was some white people with them. John Lewis was out there. I told my dad if I happen to see a picture of him on the my dad said he was marching too. I said, Lord, I said I gotta look real close. Let me see if I see a picture of my dad. But he talking about he was way in the back, way down the line. Yep. But he was out there. He witnessed a lot of things. But yeah, I was just reading here about Martin Luther King and his godson was just sharing some things about this Jesse Jackson's son, Jonathan Jackson. May Jesse Jackson rest in peace. I guess they'll be having his funeral pretty soon. I mean, I'm sure they gonna have like 2 or 3 memorial for him because I was seeing where they want. I think his family want him to be laid at the Capitol, but they don't want to put him at the Capitol. But he did accomplish a lot, even though he wasn't a president. But he ran for president twice. You know what I'm saying? And he had that push rainbow organization going on, which is still going on today. Is it cold where y'all at? It's cold here. It's cold here. This weather is straight strange. Hey, Miss Key, how you doing? You know I'm over here. You know when I ain't doing health class, I'm doing history class. I'm talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Like I said, he stood. He no he accomplished a lot for us. For us to have some of the things that we got going on today. They marched for us to have the voting rights and stuff like that. And I was just reading some articles about what Reverend Jesse Jackson's son was saying. His dad had witnessed Dr. King, getting assassinated. And and I was just saying it's sad that it was a lot of hatred going on back then. A lot of hatred. And it's still some hatred still in the world now. Some people just don't want to change. Some people don't want peace. You see what I'm saying? Some people rather be at it all day long, every day. Some people just don't want to be in peace. They want to be miserable. And a lot of people feel like people shouldn't have the freedom of speech to speak their opinions about things. They was trying to they want to shut Martin Luther King Jr. up. And the motive was behind racism, hatred. They didn't like what he was doing. They didn't like what he was saying. But it's sad that people have to go to the length of killing a person just to keep them quiet. And like I said, it's still going on today. People still get upset when people have their opinions about things. Yeah, it's still happening today. We'll be doing the snack of the day for 5 days. Y'all, if you want to be part of the challenge, you can do whatever snack of your choice. Whatever you choose to eat, it'll be your choice. Hashtag challenge 2026. Sometimes, I just about know who be in. I know Frank, sometimes he be in it. Some of the ones that knew coming in and just hashtag challenge 2026. You can either put me and Miss Key name in the description on one of your videos. Just let us know that you are participating. You don't have to do them on all videos. If we know you're doing one, we gonna go back and see that you are sharing your videos all week. And let's support each other in the challenge. Whoever in the challenge, let's watch each other videos. If we're able to watch each other videos, make comments. That's what we call networking, and that's what we call teamwork. Okay? Let's do that. Let's help each other out in that way. I watch Frank. Let's whoever in the challenge, let's just watch each other video. If you get a chance to watch it, and if you don't get a chance to comment, at least let a person know that you was there. Let's support. I try to catch, if I can't catch all the videos, at least I try to catch at least one or two of them, but you'll know that I've been over there. You know what I'm saying? Because we're doing it for a whole week. You may not be able to catch every video. If you can do like 2 out of 3 of them, that'll be good. Or you at least 1 or 2 of the videos. Come in on at least one. Let them know, you're a team supporter. You're here supporting the ones in the group. So, and if I can share, I can't share every day, but I will share a video to let people know that who's doing it this week and stuff like that. So let's just continue to do that. Let's keep it positive. Okay. So we're doing snack of the day. I had went and picked up my little snacks. Ugh. I had some grapes, but y'all know my husband got in them. I told him, I said, oh, my snacks for next week. He didn't went and got in my grape, y'all. So I got some little stuff. I said, Lord, some told me to move my grapes. To get you some motor bar. Because I told him, I had got some stuff for 5 days. I got some grapes, pretzels, and different little stuff like that. Yep. Yeah, he didn't win and open them. Sure did. I know nobody but him. Nobody but him. And I've been trying to eat right? I said, I'm going to eat this. And as soon as I cook something that I like, he be like, "Ooh, I want to try that." I said, "I thought you said you didn't want none of this." Oh, he said, he'll tell me in a minute, "I don't eat that." But as soon as I fix it, he said, "That look good right now." Yeah. I cooked some pinto bean today, y'all. They turned out all right. That was my first time cooking some pinto bean. That was one of my mom favorite dishes. And I had a taste for some pinto bean. I had a taste for some. So I cooked some pinto bean. They turned out all right. I let them soak last night. Picture it now. I let them soak last. Those my beans right there, y'all. They soaked last night. I got some turkey wings. Yeah. So that's what I cooked that's what I cooked today. But I cooked my turkey wings last night. And hey y'all, I cooked my turkey wing last night. And I let my peas. What is that? Turn that down when that in my life. I let my peas soak overnight. They turn out. You gonna eat some of my pinto bean? No. Yeah. Listen at it, y'all. He's about to say, no, no, no. Soon as he see my plate, he gonna be like, "Ooh, I want to try them." Cause that's how he always do. That's how he always do, y'all. He'll say, "I don't want that." Then as soon as I get the fixing mine up the way I want to fix it, he's like, "Ooh, that looks good right there. I'm gonna try that." But like I said, this month is about to wrap up, and I was just sharing some things about Black History Month. Just sharing some things about Black History Month. Next month I'll be sharing some things about Women's Day. I should be sharing like the current events about awareness and different types of holidays and things like that. I just like to share different stuff like that. And then, of course, I'm sharing about my wellness journey. This gonna be my second week doing cardio, y'all. I was so I ain't do none the weekend. I said the weekend gonna be my time. I said I was so the other day, Lord Jesus. I said I know it ain't never those muscles that you know that I hadn't been using. So this week shouldn't be so bad on me. Cause I've been did it for a little while. But my no, they was so. So I'll be doing I'ma stick with arm cardio for the next few weeks. And when it warm up, I'm gonna start doing some walking a little bit. Then I'm gonna start doing my legs, but I'm gonna do them a little at a time. Thank you. When it cut out of my legs, that I gotta move real slow with them, that bad knee and stuff. But yeah, it's good to see everybody. But like I said, I'm thankful for Martin Luther King. Ain't y'all thankful for y'all leaders like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks? Ain't y'all thankful for people like them for paving the way for us? Like Martin Luther King, they get out there and stomp and walk for people to vote. Like I was telling y'all, my dad was marching too. My dad part of Black History. He was out there marching with them. He said, but he was like about 15, 16 years old. But he said he caught the bus from Columbus and they went to Montgomery. They walked and stuff like that. Yeah, thankful. Cause if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have some of the things we got now. And then some people still don't take advantage of the vote. Some people got hurt, some people got killed, some people got wet, some people got beat up. They was out there trying to do it for us to vote, and some people still won't vote. People need to find out and learn how important it is to vote. The purpose of voting. You know, a lot of people going around here complaining about Donald Trump. You should have voted him out. You ain't had to vote for him. You see what I'm saying? You vote for what you get. You vote for what you get. You know, you have the right to vote for your governors, your mayors, your the community sheriffs and the chiefs and the judges. You have that right to vote for them. You don't have to sit there and let them do it. Do like everybody else. Like back then, they were boycotting and they got people was getting together and they was standing together for a purpose. But now you can't really have no some people you can see, like when they had the George Floyd, he got killed. Some of the protests was kind of reasonable and peaceful, and then some people were cutting the food, I was looking at like when they was doing the R. Kelly protest. When I was in the art, I'm still in the sector, but they ain't been doing no kind of marching and stuff. They were having some people were having some peaceful marches and some way, but either way, if you want your voice to be heard, you got to get out and do something about it. If you haven't registered to vote, register to vote. Register to vote in your community for you can let your voices be heard. We still got 3 more years with Donald Trump. So when that time comes, but he's trying to get it where he can be president forever. Y'all heard me. They said that man trying to get it where he can be president another term. What? I hope that don't happen. But Brian, you ain't in here yet. I know Brian said he's a conservative. And, a lot of people do like the dude, but he don't like people. He don't like when people do freedom. To me, he seemed like he don't care for people to have freedom of speech. Look how he wanted Jimmy Kimmel to get off TV. Hey, how you doing? Hey, pretty lady, my baby daddy's still clouding. He gonna always cloud, girl. They say he want to be look. They say he'll never go. They say he want to run for president again. No. We can't take folks. Look, we already got together 3 years. We can't take them. We can't take no 8 years and then mad. No. And see, Bo, what in the world was wrong with that broccoli girl? What was wrong with that broccoli? You're making me not even want none now. Oh my God. I said, not what I like to eat. What was wrong with that broccoli? Thank you for that 100. What was wrong with it, Sebo? I could even watch when you got to talking about it, and I had 8. I was and I got some broccoli up there in my refrigerator. No, but he trying to change the rule, Mickey. He trying to change the rule where he can run. I went back to the store and they pulled up. Ooh, girl. I couldn't even watch no more. You got to talk about how they were. Because I can't stand to see nothing wiggle. Snakes. I get like, it caused me to have, what they call it, hydrophobia, what do they call it? I can't stand nothing wiggling. Not no snake, no worm. I can't stand none of that. That kind of stuff called me. Ooh, Jesus. I know I saw your title, right? I saw your title. I said, what is C Bold over here talking about? And Lord, I saw when you had the broccoli sitting up there. So you say you went back to the store, they're going to take it off the shelf? Is it all broccoli or just that particular store? I didn't buy none the other day, but I did get some of my stacks. I got some of my snacks. I got me some cashews and peanut. Look, it's a shame I gotta hide my stuff from my husband, child. I ain't gonna eat all them no way, so he gonna end up getting them anyway. I was just gonna get some for this week because when I do my snack of the day, I got some mixed nuts. I got some I don't know what kind of I found this at Alice. This right here is banana pound cake. It's about 200 calories. I probably eat but a little slice of it. But yeah. What Frank said? He shouldn't run down another turn. No, he shouldn't. But he trying to change the laws, y'all. He trying to change the laws. He trying to change the laws where he trying to change the law where he can run. Like he putting his name on all them buildings. Like he didn't like all that stuff belonged to him. He putting the names on all them airports. He done changed the Kennedy Center. Whew, child. I don't even want to talk about, but I'm gonna be talking about Martin Luther King. I don't want to be talking about him. But anyway, this is what I was talking about Black history, y'all. I was talking about Black history, but honey, that man, ooh, Jesus. No, he ain't allowed to, but some kind of way he tried to get it changed. I don't know how, but some kind of way. But I was reading this article about this was Jesse Jackson's son, and Dr. Martin Luther King was his goddad. And he was just saying, by his dad witnessed, his dad witnessed Dr. Martin Luther King getting assassinated. And some of the other clergies and activists and God-fearing people around the world. And this right here made them want to go fight even harder. Even though this article came out in 2024, and that was the 56th anniversary of his assassination, and it's just sad, My mom used to talk about Martin Luther King, and like I said, she used to love Jimmy Carter. My mom loves Jimmy Carter. And she used to talk about the Kennedy man what got killed. It's all have to do with either racism or just hatred. It is still going on today. It's still going on today. I was watching the news the other day. You remember when I think I had talked about it when the little boy shot the school. A couple of people got killed. I think it was in Georgia. I think it happened in Georgia. You remember the little boy that shot the school? They charging his dad. They got his dad going to court now. Y'all know what I'm talking about? When the man went about y'all remember the little boy that the dad had went about the gun for? They got him in court now. He's in court now. They gonna charge him. Now when the kids be shooting up these schools and stuff, they get no parents now. So they got him going to court. They try to hold the parent responsible for it because of the fact that he went and bought the boy the gun. He bought the boy the gun, and that was his second time getting in trouble with a gun. So they holding him responsible. So I don't know what the verdict gonna be, but he's in court right now. I saw where he in court. I think I did talk about it. It happened in some part of Georgia last year, and and I think the parents should be responsible for especially if you the one that bought the gun, knowing this boy already, they'd already took out a complaint against him, you know. But like I said, getting back to Dr. Martin Luther King, like I said, he accomplished a lot while he was on this earth. He died at 30. He got assassinated at 39 years old. And I believe in my heart, if Dr. Martin Luther King would have been still living today, things probably would be a little better. I think he probably would have ran for president. I think he would have ran for president. What y'all think? I don't know in the chat. If y'all think if Dr. Martin Luther King was still living, do you think he would have ran for president? He was a gifted student. At 15 years old, he got a bachelor degree. He got a bachelor degree at 15 years old. And I want to go over his and like I was saying, when Brian was in here, we was talking about, I'm gonna go to his last speech. And from reading what I read, it seemed like he felt like something was coming, or he, in a way, he knew something wasn't right. I'm not saying he saw his death, but and it's just some people do see their death. Some people can know what happened. Like I wasn't with my mom when she took her last breath, but my niece had said that morning my mom was saying she going home. And like I said, some people can just about tell when it's about time for them to go. They feel it. They start speaking on it. He was saying some things. Dr. Martin Luther King was just saying some things, to the world. He was saying it in his speech. And if you break down his speech, which I'm going to do if I can get to that page. You break down his speech, he just about telling people about what he was feeling and what he thought was going, that's why he was saying about the promised land and all this and that, because this is just my opinion. I think he probably saw his death. Hey, First Lady, I didn't know you was in here. Good to see you. I just see something popped up there. Hey, happy Sunday, y'all. Just in here doing a little history. Y'all know I be doing a health class and history class. You said a black woman created indoor heating so we would not be cold. Yep, sure did. Do they love... Oh, yeah, my mama loves some Jimmy Carter, honey. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I saw something from First Lady. Hey, First Lady, how you doing? Happy Sunday. I'm over here, like I said, February is Black History Month. And, I have been sharing some things about Black history. And I just want to speak on about Martin Luther King and some of the things that he stood for. And some of the things that we got today is because he paved the way for us to get some of those things. And we should be thankful for our leaders that was out there marching and trying to make sure we get the right to vote and have some of the things that we do have. So I salute and I honor Dr. Martin Luther King for that. And I was just reading about, if y'all watch the Madea movie, well, I said Madea. If y'all watch Tyler Perry movie, you'll see what Tyler Perry did add that in there about the motel he was staying in and stuff like that. I think he was doing it because it was Black History Month. But he got assassinated at the Lorraine motel April the 4th. He was 39 years old when it happened. And like I said, they was trying to shut him up. They was trying to shut Dr. Martin Luther King up. And it's sad that people today don't feel like, are you upset that troublemaker judge? Okay, get that troll out. Yes, I'm upset. I'm sure he is. Get him out. So he was a troublemaker. I'm not upset about the troublemaker Jesse Jackson. Lord, I told y'all troll, don't come here with that stuff today. Don't come in here with that today. No, I'm not upset. I'm just paying respect to him because he's not here. He died. I don't know if he was a troublemaker or not because I don't know all of Jesse Jackson history. I'm learning. I know he was there when Martin Luther King got assassinated. So he said he was a troublemaker, was he? I don't know. I'm not upset. Talking about my bad the troublemaker. Thank you for the heart. For lady died. My respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson family. You know, he lived his life. You know, some of these trolls will come in here and say anything. Martin Malcolm and several other, let's see what you're saying. Martin Malcolm and several others, prominent figures, all of them are just like well-known rappers and athletes with street beef. They couldn't go anywhere. They were well-known. Yep, that's true. But I was asking the question, do y'all think people see their death? Do y'all think people see their death before it happens? Yeah. A lot of people that like Jesse Jackson, a lot of them that like Martin Luther King. Like I said, a lot of people don't like people that stand up for themselves. A lot of people don't like people that voice their opinions. A lot of people just don't like people to show their freedom of speech. Everybody's entitled to their freedom of speech. Everybody's entitled to say how they feel. Everybody's not going to agree. And the reason I said, I think Dr. Martin Luther King saw his death because of his last speech. Do y'all remember his last speech? They said Martin Luther King final speech. I've been to the mountaintop was delivered on April 3rd, 1968 at Madison Temple in Memphis. This was his last speech right here about I went to the mountaintop. To me, he spoke on what he had seen. He spoke on things that he saw was coming. And he was trying to prepare and he was trying to tell the people about what he had seen. He made this speech the night before he died. And I'm going to try to read a little of this because I like that speech. I really do. Martin Luther King final speech, I've been to the mountaintop, was delivered on April 3rd, 1968 at Madison Temple in Memphis, Tennessee to striking sanitation workers. He advocated for unity, economic boycott, and nonviolent protests. Famously declared he had seen the promised land and was not afraid of death. See what I'm saying? he spoke on this because he felt it. I believe in my heart that he felt his death was coming because of his message and things that he was trying to put out there in the atmosphere, and the people didn't like it. He see, I hate to say it, but I believe he's seen his death, y'all. I believe he's seen his death. Some people are more aware of their innocence. Yeah, because that's what his speech was about. He was letting people know he been there. He was at the mountaintop. But he want people to know that they got to get there too. I want y'all to think I'm in to preach. I ain't finna preach y'all, but I'm just saying. But they said he was out there. He was doing a lot of advocate for people with sanitation jobs and trying to make sure people had equal rights, and you know, a lot of people didn't like that. And still today, y'all can agree or not, some people still ain't making what they should. Some people still ain't making uh some people still making minimum wage, and some people should be making more. And see, that's what our Congress for. That's what we voted for. Whoever voted your baby dad in there. See, Bo, that's why they be trying to get your baby dad in to see all this stuff. Your baby daddy Trump. That's what they try to go to Congress for to get. I don't even know what minimum wage is now, but I remember starting on my first. Do y'all remember starting on y'all first minimum wage job? Anybody in the chat remember that first minimum wage job and what they were making? When I first started working, you know what I was making? $6.25. How many of y'all remember me making $6.25 an hour? Anybody in the chat? Anybody in the chat remember making $6.25? That's what I started out making when I first started working. And I had to have a baby, y'all. I had to have my daughter. I had just finished technical school. And I started working in like this little factory. We was making like little craft stuff for flowers. And I think it was $5.50. And it went up to $6. She would never give us that but like a quarter or 15 cents. And it was back in the 90s. It was back in the 90s. And the minimum wage was no more than about $6.25 or $6.50. That's why I said, I don't even know what minimum wage is now. But I know I was making $6 and a quarter one time, $6.15, $5.50. And then I went to another job, I went up to like $7. But the cost of living so high right now, y'all. You can't make it on no $6 an hour now. $6 or $7 an hour now. You can't. I mean, if you do, you can't buy that. You got a budget. And see, this is all the stuff that Martin Luther King was marching for. This is all the stuff they was marching for equal pay and higher pay. So these are some of the key details of the I've Been to the Mountaintop speech. His context: King was in Memphis, Tennessee, to support African American sanitation workers who were striking against poor wages and working conditions. In the speech, King alluded to his own mortality stating, "I've been to the mountaintop. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we are, as a people, we'll get to the promised land." He was telling the people he'd been to the mountaintop. And he was trying to tell the people, look, in other words, he was trying to tell them things going to be better, but it gonna take some more hard work. It's gonna take a little bit more hard work to get there. And he said the message are resilient. Despite the threats, he expressed no fear and emphasized that the necessity of continuing the nonviolent struggle for justice. He knew it. He had people hating him. They would do all types. And I've seen movies about him and stuff. And I done read other stories about how, his family when he was safe. His family when he was safe during his time because of what he stood for. I know he was trying to protect his wife and children, but his wife stood by his side. She stood there beside him, marching down those roads and crossing those bridges because she knew what he stood for. She knew what the message he was trying to put out here in the atmosphere. So despite all the racism, the hatred, he kept on going. He still was trying to push out his message. And it was his final speech up until his death. He spoke on it. But the guy, they said, did it. His motive was hatred. But they said they don't think he was alone. They don't think he was working alone. But he took the fall for it. So, call to action. He urged the crowd support Black-owned businesses, maintain unity, and sustain the boycott. The atmosphere. The speech was delivered during a thunderstorm and keen, emotional 43-minute speech was followed by him appearing exhausted. Yeah, that's what Brian said. He looked real tired. He looked real tired. I'm finna, I'm fixing to, let's see. I'm fixing to read. I like that speech though. I really do. It was his last speech. Up until his death, he was still fighting for others. He was fighting for others' rights to get better pay. And he was telling the people to continue to keep fighting, even though they get threats, even though they're going through all the violence and stuff. He still was preaching. He still was telling people to continue to fight. And he was telling people he didn't want them to be violent. But sometimes when you try to be at peace, somebody else will bring stuff to you where they try to get your spirit. They'll try to erupt your spirit. They'll try to erupt your spirit and want you to act just like them. You see, he didn't never phase. He didn't never phase. He kept on preaching the same tone. He kept the same tone all through up until his death. He had the same message. He was kept telling people, he was letting people know this is what we need to do. And this is what y'all need to continue to keep doing. So right here they say, let's see what else they said. I'm just looking at this right here because I'm trying to find the full speed. But we all came a long way when it comes down to racism and pay. Some people get paid more than minimum wage now. Some jobs pay pretty good. And there's still some jobs still stuck with $7 and $6. I know when the last job I was on, we had a union. And the union, we would pay union dues and stuff like that. And when you build a union, that's what a union's supposed to do. They're supposed to help fight for you and with you, help you get that pay, help you get that the things that you need, your insurance, co-pays down and stuff like that. Most people don't like when a person who's at peace their whole life is drowning. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You saw that person came in and talking about, you must be mad. These people say anything, Frank. About you must be upset that troublemaker Jesse Jackson died. I'm like, what? I didn't know he was a troublemaker. I'm like, what? People were saying, they criticized Jesse Jackson, God bless the dead, and they criticized Martin Luther King. Jesse Jackson was working with Martin Luther King. He was working for him. He was help organizing campaigns and different things that they had to do. Yeah. Oh, a lot of people say anything. They say anything. Oh boy. I said he was a troublemaker. But you're right about that. Some people don't want to be in peace. I don't care how much you try to stay away from it. Somebody still try to bring you in it, or you know, because that's the life they want to live. Uh, but you don't have to feed into it. You don't have to feed into it. So I'm finna read this right here. This one, my great cat, my great nigga. So right here it says, most of these people have no clue. I know. They say right here, let me see this. I remember when I first heard, I remember when I was old enough to hear this speech. Like, even though we heard about the speech when we was young, but once I got old enough to hear it, it brought tears to my eyes. When I heard him speak on this, it brought tears to my eye because it was his last speech. And then what he said, I say to you today, my friends, so even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It's a dream deeply rooted in American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged. I love this line right here. I have a dream that my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama with the vicious racists, one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exhausted, every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. With this faith, we'll be able to hew out the mountain, despair, a storm of hope. With this faith, we'll be able to transform the jaggling discord of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state, every city will be able to speed up that day when all God's children, black men and white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing the words of the old Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty we are free at last. Woo. This dream, this speech was his dream. And if you really listen to the words and see all the words that he spoke on, yes, his dream is, we are living his dream. We are living his dream today. Yeah, we might not still have some of the things that we want, but we ought to be thankful we got some of the things we need. And we should be thankful that we could be able to sit up in a restaurant and we can break bread with other races or be friends with other races. Even though we know racism still exists. But it's good to know that black and white girls and boys can play together now. And that's the dream that Martin Luther King fought it hard for. He fought it hard. He said he wanted his 4 little black kids to be known. He didn't want them to be just to say known as being black or color. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he was a great guy. And we are living his dream, y'all. We are living the dream. We have came a long way, but still some ways we need to go. There's still some changes. There's still some things that we got to vote for. We got to fight for. Yes, he was. He was a great guy. You know, I was young. He got killed in 68. I wasn't even born. I was born in 69. But from him, my mom talking about him, my dad, you know, and just listening to his speeches and things like that, he stood for a lot. And that it was his last speech. I Had a Dream was his last speech. And some of the things have came true. We are able to join hands. I have, you know, went to school with other races, white kids, and have friends like that. Yes, he was. They both were good guys. And you know, we have to be thankful. We have to be thankful that we didn't have to live the way our grandparents and how he was living and how Jesse Jackson came up, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. You know, we ought to be thankful that we're not living in those ages. But it's still, I can't say it enough. It's still some prejudice out here. But we're able to join hands and, you know, even when they went to Selma, when they was marching from Selma to Montgomery, it was some white people out there. There was some white people out there marching right along with them. Sure was. Sure was. But I salute Dr. Martin Luther King for everything he stood for and what he tried to accomplish and a dream that we should want to live by. We should want to live by the dream that he spoke on. You know? I'm just glad we ain't living in those days. We can go in a restaurant. It don't have to be black here, white there. We all can go in there, sit down, and enjoy our meal without people thinking, looking at you like, oh, nah. I ain't saying some restaurants you can go in. Some people still look at you like, some people just have poor customer service. They either be, some of them be mad because they have to come to work. Some of them be mad because they got to serve you. But, you don't have to stand and let nobody mistreat you. You don't have to take it. You you have the right to speak on things that you don't like. So I honor him. I honor Dr. Martin Luther King. I appreciate him for everything he have done. Um, and if he had been living today, he probably would have been a president. That's my belief. I don't know if he would have, but I believe he would have made a good president because of the things that he believed in. And you know, he paved the way for a lot of the black leaders and congressmen today. Like he had John Lewis walking right there with him. John Lewis was a Congress. He was part of Congress, and he fought for a lot of things. Some of the same things that Martin Luther King stood for. John Lewis stood for also. Same with Jesse Jackson. He was there. He organized a lot of things for Dr. Martin Luther King. You know, and there's some more black leaders out there that was there. I don't know their names, but it was a lot of people there marching with Dr. Martin Luther King. And some of them, but the guy said, I read where Reverend Jason Jackson was the last survivor that was there during the time when Martin Luther King got assassinated. So all the ones that was during the time when they had the assassination, I guess they no longer living. But yeah, so it is good to know our history. Good to know who fought it for what. They was fighting for equal pay. They was fighting for voting rights and stuff like that. So, like I said, I don't know what the minimum wage is now, but I done been on a low. I done been working where the minimum wage was $6, $5.50. I think $5.50 went up to $6 and $6.15. I done been there. I think my job I ended up when I got sick where I couldn't work no more. I think they started me out with like $7. Then it went up to like 8. Then it went to 9, 10. I don't know. What is the minimum wage is now, y'all? Do anybody know? Anybody know what the minimum wage is? I'm going to have to look it up. Because in most states, some people are making more than minimum wage. Let's see what the minimum wage is. And I think a lot of people that work at those restaurants, they get their pay through tips and stuff like that. That's why most of the time when you go to the restaurant, they be trying to work for them little tips. Some of them don't deserve because they can have some poor customer service. I remember went to Cheddar's. Me and my best friend went to Cheddar's. Ooh, the boy that was waiting on us, he just had a nasty attitude. Like, okay. Like he was in a hurry. He didn't bring all our stuff out. I'm like, he ain't getting no tip today. So what is the minimum wage? I'm just gonna say what is the minimum wage in Georgia? Put it like that, because I don't know what is the nationwide minimum wage. Back then, when you was making $6 or $7, it seemed like it was a lot of money, but it wasn't. But you had to make ends meet. You had to do the best you could because that's what they was offering. I'm trying to see what's the minimum wage. They said a little cold front will be coming in the next few days. Wage in, I'm just gonna say in Georgia. What is the minimum wage in Georgia? Uh, so it still ain't went up too much. Ooh. That's what the Congress and all of that supposed to do. But child, I don't think they're getting paid that man. So they said the minimum wage in Georgia is technically $5.15 per hour, but most employers covered by federal fair labor standards. Okay, so it's still the minimum wage is still $5.15 in Georgia. Shoot, it been like that a long time then. Cause shoot, I know how when I first started work, I was making like $5.50. Then it went up to $6.75 or $6.50 or something like that. What? I didn't know it was still that. The minimum wage in Georgia technically $5.15 per hour, but most employers are covered by the federal uh, fair labor standards, which requires a higher rate of $7.25 an hour. The federal what? I thought it had went up higher than that. Dang. And the cost of living so high. See, that's what Martin Luther King was fighting for. Better wages. Vote. Be able to vote. And some jobs, they don't want to pay you nothing. They want you to work, but they don't want to pay you. Let's see. The federal rates applies to businesses with small annual sales over 5 of those involved in interstate. Oh, okay. Wow. But like I said, they be thinking $6, $7 a lot of money, but it's not. Especially when you got a family. But I guess these days you gotta do what you gotta do because I did it for years. I worked on low paying jobs. Um, Started off at like a little small factory because after I finished trade school, I went on and just got a job after I had my baby. Then I went on to assembly work, and I stayed working in assembly work for 20 almost. I did assembly work about 20 some years, just about 20 some years until I ended up with a bad back and I started having health issues and stuff. But these days, it's hard. It's hard out here for everybody. It's hard out here for everybody. Unless you got those high paying jobs. I think you may do all right probably if you're in the military probably or something like that. Mm-mm. But anyway, I just want to share with y'all about some Black history moments. And see, like I said, we got the new challenge this week coming up. Snack of the day. If anybody want to be part of the snack of the day, you can be any snack of your choice. Any snack of your choice. I probably stick with some low calorie stuff. Probably some little thing just snacking on. Got some fruits and stuff like that. Because I'm still focusing on my heart health, joint health, just trying to stick to the things I need to do to make me feel
No other
better.
healthy meal service
So,
is doing it like Factor. I've tried with
but I
meals
do
like
want
every
to thank
plan there is, and
everybody
they've always felt not
that
specific
did
enough for my
tune in
needs.
today.
Factor
Shout out to my
completely changed
members. I
that.
gave
Factor
my
meets my
members a
nutritional
shout
goals
out
and takes out the
today.
hard work. So
I don't know if y'all seen it on my community wall.
shout out to my members. I gave my members a shout out and takes out the hard work. So
I'm about to get me some more lighting too. My lighting.
I gave my members a shout out and takes out the hard work. So
I'm about to get me some more lighting. I'm gonna get some more lighting.
I gave my members a shout out and takes out the hard work. So
My lighting make me look so dark. But I appreciate everybody for coming through. Like I said, I'm gonna start my cardio bike in the morning. I normally record it and I put it in a short video. But I normally record it and I put it in a short video. But I want the Dixie bike somewhere. There you go. But anyway, like I said, I lost one of my cousins this week. Yeah, I had it, the computer working. I lost my cousin this week. My mom, niece, she died. They'll probably have her funeral on Saturday. Like I said, I just can't do funeral right now. But I pray my cousin, whew, just it's a little bit too much for me right now. I'm gonna go by and see my family and stuff, but they understand. Like I told them, I'm still trying to get over my mom, and still get hard, but I try to continue to maintain. Thank you. My mama niece, yeah. She died 2 months after my mom. Yeah. But I do want to thank everybody that did come through. Shout out to my members. I did give y'all a shout out today. Thanks to everybody that was talking about, some of the things that I was sharing about Martin Luther King. Hey, Louis. Thank you. How you feeling? Because I know you was going through something. You was telling me the other day something was going on with you. You was telling me about you was telling me about what you told me you had something going on with your health. How you doing? Yeah, it's rough, Frank. It is rough. How you been doing, Louis? I know you had something going on with you. You was telling me something was going on with you the other day. Hope you feeling better. Yeah, it's rough when you have stuff like that going on, Frank. When you have back to back death. So yeah. I'm just going through seasonal allergies and now I have you better not get right nobody with that pink eye now. Hey Kenneth, good to see you. How you been doing? So you got the pink eye? Ooh. Look, don't put it in my chat. It ain't gonna pass through. It ain't gonna pass through the stream, is it? Ooh, I know you feel terrible. People still what they call it, conjunctivitis. They still have pink eye. My husband's about he think people still have pink eye. Yes, they do. I don't want to talk about it. I remember one time I had it when I was younger. You can't be riding nobody like that, Louis. I've been hanging in there though. Kenneth, how you been doing? You been doing all right, Kenneth? Good to see you. Uh, yeah, that stuff still out there. Pink eye, COVID, all that stuff still out there. All of it still out there, y'all. That's why you gotta, continue to wash your hands and make sure your hands, be careful when you be around people, cause this time of year, flu season and everything is out there. But I'm about to get on off of here. I did share my little I had my pinto beans today. I gotta go and finish eating my beans. That was my first time cooking some, and that was one of my mom's favorite dishes right there. The pinto bean. Anybody eat pinto bean? That was one of my mom's. She used to love to cook that. She put some onions on top of it. Yep. But I enjoyed talking to y'all.
Leave the water running here.
You get it every year? Wow. So you have that seasonal, you have the seasonal allergies. Yeah, I know how it is because I have that. Ooh, I be hating when that pollen start coming. It be terrible then. I hate that time of year. Yes, Lord. But most people get it when they have a cold or when they have severe allergies. Yeah. Yep. Or they ain't gonna get that cold. But hubby got the water running. He think, well, they said it's gonna be kind of cold tomorrow. I ain't know it's gonna get that cold though. He done got the water running. Trying to make sure those pipes don't freeze up. I did get the flu shot this year, so I thank God so far I've been doing okay with it. But like I said, I will be doing my sitting cardio, and then I'll be doing the snack of the day this week. It has to be 5 days. But I also be sharing other stuff in between and doing my wellness. I do a testimony every month, so I do a testimony Tuesday next week. It'll be a new month. I used to do it every Tuesday, but I be having other stuff going on. So I got 2 appointments this week, I believe, because I've been having. Ooh. But anyway, y'all, I do want to thank everybody that did come through. Anybody live? What y'all did today? Y'all been working on y'all channels today? We had Miss Keita coming here. Who else we had in here? Six Bowls. We had her in here. Louis, Frank, Kenneth, First Lady. Trying to see, make sure I don't overlook nobody. But for everybody that did come through today, I do appreciate y'all. But like I said, it's good to know your history. Good to, just think about all the things that our ancestors and our leaders and people that had to go through some of the things that we got now, help fought for us to have the things we have now. Oh, but yeah, no, my mama niece died. Yeah, my mama niece died. They found my mama niece a few days ago. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So much a person can take. They found her, I say it's just too close. 2 months after my mom died, she lost her niece. We lost her niece. And it's just a little bit too much for me right now. But I just continue to ask God to make me stronger. That's it. Continue to ask Him to make me stronger. Yeah. So they said, sometimes when it rain, it pours, y'all. Sometimes when it rain, it do pour. Yep. I don't know why my camera looks so blurry.
Let's see if I wipe it out. It looks so blurred. I gotta get rid of the green light or something. I'm gonna wipe it off a little bit. Those my pinto beans and those my pinto beans and turkey wings right there. But this is coming up to be the last week. The last week of this month. It was a short month, guys. A short month. Before it over with, y'all. Before it over with. It's gonna be summertime. Yep. Before it over with, it's gonna be summertime. It sure is. It's gonna be summertime before you know it. I have a great topic for another. What is that, Louis? What is that? My camera don't look right, so I'm just gonna let it stay right now. What is the topic? I have been doing okay. A little depressed though, Amy. What's wrong, my friend? Everything okay? Everything okay, Kenneth? You know you one of my guys over here. I love my guys over here. Louis, Frank, Kenneth, Terry. I got Jay Jordan, Big O, Bryant, Tay Weezy. Some of my guys that be hanging in here with me. Everything okay? You know, sometimes we just get like that, kid. I've been depressed since my mom passed. Ooh, my anxiety level just went straight up. But you know, now I try to stay calm as I can. But when my mom lost her niece the other day, like Lord just brought back all the tears. I think I cry for my mom just about every day, y'all. And I was just saying, my tears have slowed down, but they haven't went away. We all feel depressed sometimes, but we just gotta continue to keep going, guys. We got to continue to keep going. Like they be telling me, your mom, I want you to be out here being sick now. You got to take care of yourself. So that's why, I'm trying to stay focused and do what I got to do. Focus on my health. I don't even let anything else on YouTube. I don't even let it bother me. Half of the stuff I don't even know be going on YouTube. If it's something going on with another YouTube creator, I don't know nothing about it. Because I choose not to. I choose, at this point right now, it doesn't matter with me. Whatever. It's whatever with me. So if it ain't concerning me, I just ain't going to deal with it. Because that ain't nothing but stress. And I ain't got time. I ain't got time. I'm too busy trying to get to the point where I need to be at. So, yeah. I'm trying to read what y'all said. We're expecting it. What? Y'all still got snow? It's cold out there. That temperature change quick. That's why I do what I do. And YouTube and sometimes has a lost at love. I make memorial videos for them to help them with their grief. Yeah, I know. I'm in a little group. I'm in like a group where I can share, and it's like a support group I've been in lately. And it been helping me out some. Yeah, that's all we can do is take one day at a time. I'm the same way, even if the trolls try to put me down, I just ignore them because it's too. Exactly. What you got going on, Lewis? You been working on some stuff on your channel? I know. Them trolls are something serious. They are something serious. They try to stick and they get up on our skin and say things and, you know, and they'll do it if you let them. Sometimes you just say what you gonna say to them and get them out your chat. It's just as simple as that. Cause you don't have to put up with them. You really don't have to put up with them. My company got my teeth got cold out. We don't have to put up with those trolls. Yeah, they got cold. Just take care of yourself, Kitty. Just take care. You ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. Is you said gonna be? Y'all gonna get that many feet of snow? Wow. And Kenneth, I love my card. Kenneth had sent me a card, y'all. I still got it. I think I got it in that room, and he sent me a card for Christmas. That was sweet of you, Kenneth. Hmm. You wish you could ignore him. Kenneth, you must be work. How you deal with trolls? Oh, you talking about when you be in other people's chat? Cause you don't have no channel, do you? You don't have a channel, do you? If you're a moderator, you know when you be over here, like I tell, like one troll had a nerve to tell me one day, you just be blocking people and getting people out your chat. I said, if you coming in here being disrespectful, yes, I'm gonna get you out of here. You ain't staying in here. Come on, they have nerve to say, if it weren't for the people, you wouldn't have a channel. And that is true. I always acknowledge people over here. I'm acknowledging my member, whether you're a member or moderator or just supporting. I'm always acknowledged. I'm always telling y'all how much I appreciate you. But I ain't gotta be disrespected. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, you respect me, come in my chat, you can stay here as long as you want. But as long as if you start coming here trying to say stuff about me or say something about the people in my chat, no, I'm not gonna allow that. No, I'm not gonna allow that. Mm-mm. I'm sorry. Yeah, they do say mean things. They do. Oh, they said something about your mom? Oh my God. I mean, you must be got a channel. You been working on a channel, Ken? You been doing videos or something? You must be got a channel. I didn't know you had a channel. Wow. They don't know nothing about your mom. They don't know nothing about your mom. Yeah, I know it's some rude people out here. You got a channel, Kenny? How they said something about your mom? You must have been working on your channel or something. Yeah, I block them. You don't have to keep them in your chat. You don't have to keep them in your chat. Oh, I'm about to get ready to wind this on up. Yeah, block them, ignore them, because they don't know you. People just sit behind a computer screen. They don't know you. If you have not been around a person in person and dealt with them in person or been around them in that kind of way, that's how you say you know somebody. You have been around them, you have dealt with them. But just for as you talking to me from a phone or computer and you be in my chat, that don't mean you know me. That don't mean you know me. You know of me. You know my screen name, but you don't know me. That's why when some people be coming here talking, I be like, okay, whatever. I might say something back to them, and then I might just say, I say, I ain't got time for y'all. Get them folks on my check. That's just how I say. Get them on my check. Because they don't know you. If they ain't taking care of you, they're not doing anything for you, they don't know you. I used to call the trolls bullies. Because that's how bullies be. They pick. They pick at people. Until one day they'll pick at the wrong somebody. Yep. So, but I hope to, get better, Kenneth. Relax. Listen to some music. Read some books. Find you something to do to keep you busy. Like I said, I got anxiety. I deal with depression. I take medication for it. I sure do. I mean, I'm getting a little bit better now because I've been staying busy. I've been doing my little stuff I need to do. Just trying to keep my mind, it ain't got nothing to do with nobody on here. I'm trying to deal with the loss of my mom, And she been gone 2 months and it's still fresh to me. But, I done came a long way. Before people on here, they don't know me. I deal with you. If I do, if I don't. You know what I'm saying? I can't let people that I don't know stress me out. I let them think what they want, say what they want, but they don't know me. They don't know me. I know I get off of YouTube when it's that time. Yeah, sometimes just take a little break. You just need that time for yourself. There ain't nothing wrong with getting a break every now and then. Sometimes you need to get a break. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We're human. We have our feelings. And, it's part of life. It's part of life. But anyway, I enjoy everyone for stopping by. I appreciate y'all so, so much. Frank, what you been doing today? I had started watching this movie last night. I got to finish watching. I fell asleep. It was about this little girl let me see. Yeah, she got killed. Her stepmom. You probably seen it, the Zuri Jones story. I had started watching it, but I fell asleep. And I know how to get off YouTube. Yeah. I fell asleep. It was about the little girl. Okay. Yeah, I had started watching a movie about the Zuri Jones story. About the little girl who got killed. Her stepmom did it. I went to sleep, but I gotta watch the end of it. And it's just sad, I might do a review on it. But it's sad how people do children. Just because those children are not yours, you married into this family. When you get married and you got somebody with children, that means that child is part of you. But that lady was treating that girl so bad. No ma'am, I don't have a channel, but the trolls mean to me. Oh, okay. But we'll get rid of them over here. If you're a moderator, you know how to block people, Kenneth? You know how to get people out the chat if you're a moderator? You can block them. Do you know how to do that? Because you're a moderator over here. And they don't know nothing about your mom to be saying anything about your mom. But you seen that movie, Frank? The Zuri Jones movie? I might do a review on it next week. But it was, I got to finish watching it the end first. But I know the stepmom, ooh, somebody to get her. Somebody to get her. That's why I said people that can't have children have a hard time trying to have children. And but the ones that have children, they don't deserve them. Oh, okay. But I gotta finish watching. I might talk about it one day this week. It's sad. It is so sad of how stepmothers and stepfathers do children. But when you come into a marriage, you already know this person got a child. And you gotta be able to accept that child. Cause I'm sure when you get with these people, you know they got kids. So if you mad at that other woman, don't take it out on the child. And that's what that crazy woman done. They want to finish watching it when I get off here. But I want to thank everybody that came through. Like I said, I appreciate everybody. Like I said, it's good to know your history. It's good to know your history. And I was just sharing some things about Black history, which I have been basically doing all month. Just sharing different things about certain ones and stuff like that. But I'm finna get ready to get off of here. Like I said, this is Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was born January 15th, and he was assassinated April the 4th. He was 35 years old. He had a dream. He did have a dream. And, like they said, they shot the man, but they did not shoot the dream. I'm being watching 48 hours. Okay. You be solving them cases. He had a dream. They couldn't kill it. They did assassinate him, but the dream still lives. It lives in us every day. It's what you want it to be. If you want to continue to have and want better things, if you have the opportunity to change things, change them. That's what he voted for. That's what he fought for: change, equal rights, peace. Even though we know that some people just don't like peace. Some people just want to treat you all kind of ways. Like on some of these jobs, you have the right to speak up. You have the right to tell these people, look, especially if they're not paying you what you're supposed to be getting paid. That's what you fight for. That's what they fought for you to get equal pay. Don't let nobody mistreat you. Especially if you're working on a job knowing that they underpaying you. I done been there. I done done it. I done worked long hours, long work on weekends, and I have done all of that. And when you got a family, you try not to complain, but you always want to have more. You always want more, and ain't nothing wrong with that. That's why a lot of people change jobs, because they want to make more money. They want to live a better life, or they'll choose to go back to school and try to further their education and do different things to try to make sure they have the things they need to survive, because times are hard. Times are hard. Like I said, we have came a long way, but we still have some ways to go. So on that note, I enjoyed everybody. Y'all continue to stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? Prayed up. Don't forget, we got these challenges starting tomorrow. Snack of the day. And what I do, I be doing my own personal stuff,
concerning health, but I do share it. So I will be doing my cardio. The first week, I was so right now I think I done got some of the kinks out. So I should be as sore as I was last week. Y'all make sure y'all check out everybody that came through. Shout out again to my members, my moderators, my supporters. Thank y'all for continuing your support. Y'all continue to have a blessed night. And I'll see y'all on the next go around. Bye bye. And thanks for joining.